What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Whiskey Morgue podcast, where we talk about the whiskey we're drinking, the horror we're watching, and tonight is not just any episode. It is the Halloween special. I've never done a Halloween special. I started the podcast in November last year, so this is the first Halloween special. And who better to have on with me than my friend Eric, the Whiskey Mutant? Eric, welcome back, my brother.
I've returned. I feel like home. I feel like I just came home from I've been at school I've been off. My parents sent me away for a long time for being a bad kid. And now I get to come home and everything feels familiar and nice, but I'm ready to get in trouble again, if that's
Yeah,
a
you
thing.
you came home. We're ready for movie night. And if you're
I got
listening,
some cigarettes like here.
he
I
returned
brought,
with the cigs.
I brought some cigs. I'm on them to smoke now. So
If you're not familiar with Eric, um, Eric knows his whiskey, he knows his horror, but the one thing that most know Eric for are them snack pairings, baby. And boy, if you've never seen a 69 seconds with the Whiskey Mutant, where he pairs a snack and a whiskey in 69 seconds, roughly, we'll just say
yeah,
roughly.
I always
Um,
last longer than 69 seconds.
yeah, at least go 71, all right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, man. So I'm excited because again, so Eric, if you might even know him from This Is My Bourbon podcast, but he's been busy and he's been doing big things in life. And I felt like this wasn't intentional, but Eric messaged me and said, I'm always down to be on the podcast. And we started talking about this Halloween special. And the movie we've chosen tonight, Eric threw it out there, is Halloween 3.
Oh
Now,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm wearing right now, if you have the video version, I'm wearing my Halloween, like Michael's in the background there, Laurie's in the front.
Yeah.
I'm like Michael Myers through and through. So, but I like this idea because Eric was like, that was the one where
Hey,
it
wait,
didn't
wait,
get.
wait, 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 wait. Mallard put up a big thing, bleep it, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for a 40-some-year-old movie. Michael Myers isn't in this fucking movie.
And many of us learned the hard way, which will.
Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this.
But the connection that I thought was interesting was before we hopped on here. I know Eric worked in a hospital as well, has been working in a hospital for a very long time. And I kind of asked what he's up to. Got his master's. Congratulations, Eric. We'll
Thank
drink to
you.
that. I'll
Thank
find
you.
every reason to
Yes.
drink to something tonight.
Yes.
And he is a director at the hospital and does staffing and oversees many departments. And I thought that's very fitting for this movie, which for a good chunk of it takes place in a hospital.
It does. It does.
So we might get some expert opinion on.
Maybe when I was little, I thought it might have been the same hospital that Michael was in. I don't know. I was trying to put it all together, but we'll talk about how my little childish brain like tried to make this movie connect. And every time I watch it, I remember things that I was like, okay, I know what this is. I know what's going to happen now, and it never does. So,
Yeah, I same, and we'll get into it because I definitely get some PTSD where I remember, yeah, my little brain just trying to make sense of everything. And of course, along the way, we're gonna do two snack pairings, and Eric had the great idea of like we knew which snacks and whiskeys we're using, but we're gonna try to decode why we
mm.
went with that pairing, which I think is a lot of fun. So to bring us up to speed, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Um, so quick, I mean, we already put up the spoiler alert, so we don't need to warn you anymore. But
Somebody's
um,
like, "Are you kidding me?"
yeah, so this is the one that was supposed to be the standalone in the anthology, where Carpenter and Deborah Hill returned, and they said, you know what, we'll do something, but we don't want Mike. We did one reluctantly. I think they helped write two. And three, they were like, let's take this in a different direction. And you can, it's almost admirable because back then, not knowing what it could become, we see a lot of like different TV series and stuff do this these days where it's like, let's just do a complete spin. It's the same title, but a
Right.
whole new story. So I get it. Obviously, it didn't sit well at the beginning. People like Mikey. But here we get in lieu of like a slasher, we get this like sci-fi witchcraft corporate nightmare, um, and where the Silver Shamrock Company is putting out these Halloween masks. If you're watching the video version, I have like one in
Yeah,
behind me
there
here.
you go.
It's the cheap version. I'm not buying the expensive one. That's
Silver Shamrock. God.
and somehow silver shamrock masks have like the power of Stonehenge in them.
Yeah, we okay. I don't know when we're okay. When we get as we talk about the movie, I'm
Yeah.
still confused about a few things, and I want to
I
know.
do want to get back to Stonehenge too, because yeah, like this is
I want to know your take on a specific thing and what you
okay.
think. So when
Okay,
I don't
deal.
know when we get there, I'll ask you.
All right. So we've already kind of teased it, but Eric, I wanted to start with you and kind of bringing yourself back to the first time you walked into that video store with your grandmother. I know you went with your
Yeah,
grandmother
Grand,
and
yeah,
grand and shout out grand and you picked up this movie. You went home. Picking up was fun. You saw the cover. I'm sure, same way I
yeah.
saw the
Well,
cover. I was like, cool, trick or treaters. But then you went home and watched it.
yeah. So I will say, it happened. It happened two different ways. This time, I caught this on one of those like TNT, TBS like marathons, and like they were showing. I don't know if it's Halloween marathon or just a movie marathon, and it was like Halloween 3. And I tried to watch it, and I was so confused. I was like, "What is?" And I was old enough to know that I was like, they cut stuff out of these movies, and I was
Mm.
like, so that's I watched bits and pieces of it, confused as hell on what's going on. And then I got to go rent it. So then I brought it home after this random viewing that I watched at the house. And well, let's just say I was not happy. Um, I just I kept being like, where the hell is Michael Myers? Like I didn't understand we're like 7, 8, 9 years old. There's no internet to like look stuff up. Like Halloween 3, like I don't know what the word anthology even means. Like I'm so mad. But also when I watched it when I had like the VHS, I'm like digging this movie as a little kid, even though I'm mad. I'm like happy and mad. I'm like, oh, that was cool. But I'm like, what the fuck is Michael Myers? Um, and so the opening of this, every time I watch this, I just rewatched it. We talked about it earlier. We both rewatched recently. I love the opening of this.
Mhm.
The old like 80s like computer graphic, like the pumpkin that like I was like they killed it.
Yeah,
The
they were taking this. It was clear they were taking it in a whole new direction. And again, I think that's why like there's like there was a newfound respect over the years with people who maybe again at first weren't fond of it because of not having Michael. But then yeah, you're like, yo, that intro, it's digitized. They even had a warning. I mean, now they have a warning when I was watching it over the past week where it was like may cause seizures
Yeah,
because of flashing
that's
lights
what they
and
wanted. That's exactly
yeah,
what
that
freaking
that was
those.
the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, very similar here. Like, so I remember distinctly. So my cousin and I had watched the first Halloween, and then we got the okay by I don't know if it was his mom or my mom that when we went in the video store, we'd rent all the Halloweens. It was probably October. It might have, who knows? It might have been December, but we were gonna rent all the
did you
Halloweens.
have to like buy the like rent one get like three free deals or like mine was always rent two movies get two free. So like I could rent two, but they had to be old releases. They couldn't be like
Yeah,
the
I
new
so when I
release.
worked at Blockbuster, dating myself here, but when we left off there, it was like 3 for 10. So it
Uh-huh.
was like but from the favorites section. The favorites was pretty much nothing along the external wall, which is all the new releases. But yeah, back in the day, there was always like a buy two, rent two, get two,
Yeah.
and we went for it. So at the time, I mean, because I was younger, but I mean, I think six was even out, but that we definitely went up to five, and I rented 1 through 5, and we are gonna sit there, and I wanted to watch all of them. So you can imagine now we hit three, and same thing. Like I'm intrigued because I was like, ooh, like this seems new, and there's like you still have the children wearing masks, and I just laughed so hard because like we were making excuses to each other. I remember me and my cousin being like, "Oh no, he's gonna come soon." Like what's happening is they're like
Yeah,
setting
you're
this
trying to
up.
justify that you're mad about. You're like, "No, wait. We got this. It's
Yeah.
all good."
And then early on, um, when Dr. Dan there is in the bar, Halloween comes on.
Right. And I
And
missed that on the first time I watched it. The second time
Okay.
I saw it, and I was like, "Is this okay?" And then I was like, "I'm not." I was like, "I don't know what's maybe they're making a Michael Myers movie in the Michael Myers universe. I don't know." So
Yo, also, okay, just as a side note, we've talked about like meta films and everyone talks about Scream and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This was meta before any of that. Because
yeah,
yo, they had Michael TV clips and even in the ending. But so this false hope, I remember me and my cousin were like, oh, like they know what happened in part one and part two, and now like it's on TV. But I didn't get it if it wasn't the news, but it was a movie. Anyways, the whole point is like we watched the whole thing through and I just didn't know how to feel about it. And then it was just one of those things where I was like, first of all, I remember being like, did we rent the right movie? Like, is
yeah,
this actually number three? Again, this is pre-internet. I couldn't just look up what was going on or if the second call
right.
or whatever it might be. And yeah, and just trying to put in some real work and getting to the end. And it's true, like there was a lot of things that I thought were cool, but I was too thrown off by not having Michael, which I guess a lot of people were. Which is why I guess this thing got buried early on, right? Like people, critics were like, yeah, like bring back Mike, this is not so good, and kind of trashed it. But like anything, we're in a time of nostalgia, so it's had a renaissance, and now there's people who are like, yo, I've always been Die Hard.
Yeah.
Three.
You know
Yeah,
what? I was one of the few that really liked this
yeah.
in the beginning. Bullshit. You are not. Like as I watched, I remember. So I said earlier, like they're in the hospital. It starts out kind of in the hospital. I was like, oh, I bet that maybe this is happening at the same time that this Michael's in there. And no, okay.
That would be
Then I
great because
start,
Halloween 2 was all the hospital, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So then you start learning that there's something. Before we get into more stuff, there's something about these masks, like, and I go, I know what it is. This is where they made his mask. This is going to show where Michael got his
Oh,
mask. And
that
I
probably
was
would
like,
have been better than the Mystery Man in Halloween 5. Like that.
and I was like, that's it. I got it. I figured it out. Nope. Nope. Nope.
All right, before
Oh,
we get into any more of this movie, I've been sipping water. If you've been watching, I'm just sipping water. But it's okay. I'm getting my palate cleanse
yeah, I need to do
because
that.
we need to go into one of our pairings for the evening. And this is just isn't just a regular whiskey pairing. We're not just pouring whiskey and drinking here. I figured, Eric, who goes first? You or me in
Hmm.
terms of
Let's
snack?
see. I say I say okay, so for listeners, viewers, we were trying to figure out what to pair, and Mike was at a certain place and he had access to some snacks that I could also get. So I said, get some snacks and then you tell me what you got, and then we're going to pair those. So we got two snacks. We have one that we're going to pair with a rye. I think we saved that one second. So the
Yeah.
rye will probably hit our palate
Okay.
a little bit more than the bourbon would. So let's do the bourbon pairing.
Okay. So, as mentioned, I picked up a couple snacks and I'm not the most pleased with what I was looking for some really wild Halloween exclusives.
You got the
Um,
scariest. They're scary.
yeah. So I ended up getting. We'll talk about the how this is kind of a cop out, but the Hostess scary cakes. All right. I feel like Little Deb. If Little Deb went hard in this, you do it much better. But either way, we got some orange frosting, and I figured we'll have some fun with this. I have had one already. I had to do some homework,
My
and
my favorite thing is the message you sent me. You said, and I was so confused. That's why I had to ask you again because you said I got some little Deborah spooky cakes, and I go, what? What are those? I was thinking in my head.
yo,
I
I'm
was like,
sounding like my dad more and more now, where I just take 20 different things and put into one. And then I probably would get mad at you and be like, how the fuck does Eric not know Little Debbie spooky cakes? It's Hostess scary cakes. Anyways.
and I kept going, what are spooky cakes from Little Deborah? I was like, I have missed these. I was like, okay, he's in Canada. Maybe because you were somewhere you weren't in Canada at the time and you could get other stuff. And I was like, damn, he's got cakes that I can't get. And then I was like, what flavor again? I kept like trying to just not straight up be like, what the hell is a spooky cake from Little
So
Deborah?
what makes this even better is I mean I don't remember all of Eric's content, But then I get these spooky cakes, scary cakes, and I start going through unintentionally. I was just digging through. You know what I no actually know why I was digging through your page to find what picture I want to put on the
I'm
thumbnail for
trying.
this. Okay.
I've only had one sip of whiskey, and I could not wait to bring up the spooky cake thing because I just sit
Yeah, you're
there
like,
for
well, what is it? What flavor? And I'm like,
oh my
so,
God.
so I
It was
get the cakes, and I need to find a picture of Eric. And you're hearing this. Oh, by the way, you're here. This is being recorded on October 19th. You know what today is, Eric? It's Michael Myers' birthday.
really.
He turned
I thought you
68 today. He was born
damn.
in fandom. He was born on October
Oh,
19th, 1957. So
I thought you were going to say 8 days to Halloween. Halloween.
that would have been much better.
8 days. Have a shamrock. Well, happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike. And so I'm digging through Eric's page looking for a sharp picture of Eric for this thumbnail. And I see the scary, spooky cakes in Eric's hand. And I'm like, watch the video. I'm like, oh, he's done this, obviously. But not, he knew what it was at the time. And you were going off about how this is the biggest cop out ever because it's literally just a chocolate and vanilla cake with
It's
like
just
food
the
coloring.
cupcake.
So what I told Eric I'm going with here,
Oh,
before I even open up the cake, is four roses, but specifically a four roses single barrel, but specifically OBSF. And this is a new one. I actually just picked this up when I got the when I got the snack cakes, and I wasn't even thinking about pairing at this point. I was just two separate trips, like one to the liquor store, one to Target, and
RJ.
yeah, and I picked up this OBSF, and so I thought it would be a fun one. So I'm gonna pour some in my glass.
Okay. I also have a OBSF. This was from one of our local stores here in Lexington, Unlimited Spirits. It's a 10-year, 2-month OBSF. It's dang, I didn't realize it's 61.6%. This is a high proof one.
You know what's crazy is I picked this up because it was low proof. So mine's 10-year, 9 months, and it's 53.3%. And
Ooh,
I was just like, cool. Like, sometimes like I like when a barrel proof seems like it clocks in a little bit lower than it should. But interesting, both OBSF, and that one is a spicy boy. So it might be a little bit different, but
yeah.
maybe it still works even more than in my favor and what I'm going with. So Eric,
All
how do you
right.
want to run this? Do we do whiskey first? Do we take a sip of the whiskey first, or just take?
Yeah, let's talk about
All
the
right,
whiskey a little bit.
all right.
Mm. Oh man, I haven't had that in a while. Oh,
I
that
had
is
this two
spicy,
weeks ago,
boy.
and it's already even better than what I remember. So I'm even more excited to use.
So I already know in my head, I know based on my pick, I know kind of where this is going to go.
Okay,
Um, and I'm eager to see if it does. I have a good feeling about this one.
okay. So I'll talk about the notes then after. Let's take a bite of the cake first. Let's take a bite of
Okay.
this mundane,
It's
spooky,
so
spooky
freaking
cake.
scary. This is
Yeah.
scary. You see this? Look at that. That yellow is scary as hell.
You
You know,
you could have even given us a more vibrant orange, to be honest, to make it a little bit more.
I know what with screaming feeling. Maybe they changed up the feeling a little bit. It's screaming in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Well, cheers, Eric.
Cheers to scaries. Tastes like a
Thank you to
hostess
everyone
cup.
listening to us chew right now.
Yeah. That used to be the thing that everybody hated when I was selling the podcast. They were like, you have to chew into the microphone every time. Jesus.
Yes, yes, it's people pay for this now. This is a trending audio thing.
Yeah,
What's
I
it called?
started that.
AMSR. You're doing
Yeah.
AMSR pairings. I'm gonna turn up the volume of my mic for the next one. I'm just so you can hear me chewing. Yeah, this is just what we expected. This is just
It's basic cupcake.
it's basic
Yeah.
cupcake. I was a sucker, man. I was sold on the screaming icing and scary cakes and
Now
yeah,
listen,
when they said with scream filling, I thought it was like a cream cheese filling, like a limited edition of some sort. But No,
They
it's not.
like to make you, they trick you. Hostesses like that. They like to trick you. Little
Hmm.
Deborah, she's transparent, she's honest. It's more, it's just going to be the same. It's going to say like pumpkin Swiss roll, and you know it's just a pumpkin flavored Swiss roll. She ain't
Yeah.
going to be like, I'm putting screaming, sauce all over this and scary icing, and she's just going to tell you how it is. Hostess is just trying to get by. That's why I said, they could have done something more.
Yeah.
Put
But you know
put
what? It's
red
fine
filling
because
in.
yeah, right? You want to make it scary.
Yeah,
Give,
blood.
surprise me. Oh, damn, some blood filling.
Yeah.
I'm screaming now. But you know what?
Ah.
For the sake of the pairing, it kind of works because it kind of gave me a very simple palate, a very easy
Hmm.
start to be like, where do I want to take this? So I'm gonna take a sip of the whiskey and take a
Okay.
bite.
Oh yeah. See that's when the whiskey elevates the snack. I
Hmm.
always like to pair, like you always try to make something, make them blend together. But sometimes you got to take something to make the other one better. Maybe the whiskey sucks and you're going to make it better with the snack. But in this case, snack's plain, just normal. You got your basic chocolate. But this, you picked a great whiskey for this because to me, now I'm going to say what I think first, and then I
Okay.
want to know if that's what
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
thinking.
I want to hear you pick it apart.
I knew that the icing itself wasn't going to add any different flavor because you think maybe it's like you were saying like a pumpkin icing because it's like whatever is it supposed to be orange or is it just
Yeah.
yellow? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to go orange, but it's like a very
Any-
muted orange.
So with this OBSF, I get a really spicy cherry.
Okay.
So I get a spicy fruit. You could probably maybe get a little orange in there, but I'm picking up straight up high proof spicy, like a spicy cinnamon and then cherry. So to me, this is perfect because it's like almost like a high proof, like chocolate covered cherry, like dessert
Mm.
when you put them all together. That's what I get. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but
So I'd say like you're like 90% of the way there. It's just that maybe the fruit's a bit different. I don't know if it's proof, but when I first sipped this, I got like apple crumble, but then like a lot of
oh,
like spice, cinnamon. Now, obviously, mine is lower proof at like 53. But I just got a lot of like fall flavors. And I remember talking to a friend and saying I picked up the bottle and I said, you know what? It's almost like finessed. It's like playful. It has some fall flavors, some like a little bit of brown sugar, but obviously Four Roses doesn't really go there. We go more fruit. But yeah, it just kind of reminded me of like a really like baked apple crumble.
I see
And
that.
yeah, and I thought like with a very bland, we'll call it like vanilla icing, I thought that adding that in the mix
But
would
yeah,
give it a little
because
bit of that.
it's like is it I feel like maybe that like high proof spiciness is more of a cinnamon. So
Mm,
like you're saying like apple pie, like cinnamon apple pie, like an apple crisp, maybe even like some kind of like cocktail that people will put like the sticks, the cinnamon sticks in and stuff.
yes,
Like
yeah.
I could see that for sure. Yeah.
Well, I
All
think
right.
we
Come
have to
on.
pour it over. Let's do it.
Yep. These are good to pour over too because they just soak
Yeah,
it up
soak it
right in
up.
there. Oh hell.
Oh,
That's where it's at always.
that reminds me of something else now. Like,
Mm.
and I wish I could put my finger on it. Like another dessert I've had that I can't pinpoint right now.
It's something to do, I think, with the filling. Like it's when the whiskey gets in the filling, it's almost like I don't know. I'm thinking of something too, and I can't pick it up. But it's almost like a cocktail that they put some kind of like cream on it or something like
Mm,
almost maybe like a coffee cocktail or something, and
yeah.
then the whiskey and that cream or like a ice cream, like maybe like a boozy float or something like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
now that you're saying with the like a coffee cocktail with like the chocolate, yeah,
Hmm. Oh
it's not
yeah,
what
that
it's so like I didn't really practice or like do this in advance. So it didn't necessarily go exactly where I thought, but I'm happy with how it turned out. Like I'm here for. I feel like it did, like you said, I like my goal was to elevate the snack, and I think the
I
mission
think you
is
did.
accomplished.
No, you did. You did.
I,
Listen, Dr. Dan Chalice, Dr. Chalice, which was my great grandpa's name. Only other person that I ever know his name was Chalice. His
yeah.
first name was Chalice. Yeah. So he was Chalice Smith. He wasn't like Dan
Okay.
Chalice. But anyway, back to Mr. Chalice here. Horniest old man I've ever seen in my life. We got to talk about this guy.
Yeah,
He's
I have a lot of
uh,
things here. The first word I have here is greasy, but
oh, this doc, what's his actual name? What's the actor's name? Atkins, Tom. It's like Tom.
Tom Atkins, yeah.
Yes, and he's in a bunch of random stuff like you recognize him. But in this particular movie, I almost think that he has a mask on the whole time because he looks fake. You know,
Yeah.
he's got shoulder pads. He's
Yeah.
wearing like shoulder pads. He looks like if they wanted like freaking
Burt
like
Reynolds?
they wanted Burt Reynolds, but then somebody else wanted like Chuck Norris, and they were like, we're going to get somebody that looks exactly like the both of them together. And he's at least what 50 in this, and little Ellie, or is it Ellie, the daughter of
Ellie, yeah.
she's at least 12. She's like 12 years old.
She's like, my daddy, my
Yeah.
dad got abducted. He's like,
He's
don't
like, all
worry.
right, well, let's go sleep together. And I'm like, what is happening? What they even have a line that she's like, I'm old enough or something like that in this. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
and maybe this is just age showing, but yeah, off the bat. So, we talk about revisiting this movie. Let me tell you how at the beginning of the movie, he's home for like 20 minutes. He's home for 20 minutes. And his wife alludes that he's been drinking, right? Because
Yeah.
he gets the page and they're like, yo, we need you back at the hospital.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm heading in. And she's like, oh, like drunk doctor, great. Like you're gonna go work at the hospital. But yeah, dude steps in that hospital. There's like one nurse. He's all
One old
like,
nurse, he like pats her on the butt or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
He's
you'll
like,
smack in the behind, and even jokes about like taking breaks together. And there was another one. Was it her that he's like, ah, I should have married you or something? And
yeah, something. Then he calls the coroner one time. He's like, we're gonna have dinner together. And she's like, oh, you. And I'm like, and I don't even know if going back to when he's at the house and he's with the kids and everything, like I didn't realize he was even like divorced at this time. Like I don't remember them saying like he's just like, all right, I gotta go in. And like that seems like he's just coming home to like be like, all right, I'm home from work and now I gotta leave. But he's actually divorced and he's just out with all these other people all the
well, that's why
time.
at first I thought like, yo, he didn't go home the whole movie. He ended up in motels. He's doing all this stuff. And he ends up in an investigation. But what makes me laugh about it is that like yeah, he's drinking the whole time. Like he gets off his shift, he goes to a bar, and then even at one point he's drinking with a homeless guy for a bit. He's getting a couple swigs, getting some intel and some swigs,
Yeah.
and it's like he is. Why is this guy? When you think about your protagonist, who was writing the script and said, "This is
This
our
is our
hero."
guy. He's either drinking or hitting on women and like and he's wearing shoulder pads. Like we ain't even like who he doesn't look he's not an attractive guy. He's not like he looks like he's got like a fake face on sometimes. I don't understand that either. I don't
Yeah,
understand how he
and
became the
I got
hero.
the ick a bit with the whole like, Ellie's like, her dad, is taken out of the hospital, and quick nod to that. I don't know the proper term if someone lighted themselves on fire, but I'm sure there is a proper term. But this guy gets in the car, this man in the suit, and just like
He
pours himself
just
with gasoline and lights himself on fire. Amazing scene. Like that's one I remember that being like early on watching the film the first time around as a kid, being like,
yeah.
whoa, like what just
Yeah.
happened? But yeah, so then you think like um Dr. Chalice has taken on this like father figure role where he's like, look, I just saw what happened. Listen, poor Ellie, I'm gonna help you out, who's significantly younger. She's like, Daddy, where's Daddy? He's like, don't worry, I'll show you Daddy. And he goes off on this adventure with her. And then yeah, I got the ick, man, because like, I get it. Like if they're alluding that he's like 35 and she's 25 and or something like I don't, but like it's really bizarre because like they really play it that she's much younger and he's
Yeah.
clearly older, and yeah, and the whole point is that he is just a horny old dude, man. Like he
Yeah.
and like and they and they're not hiding. Like it wasn't even like tasteful. They're like he's like yeah, he calls the coroner. He's like, hey baby, remember me? He's like, I need some info. She's like, I don't break the rules. Like, yeah, I'll take you for dinner. And she's like, okay, I'll
You'll
break the
break the
rules.
rules.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this is a a busy guy.
I love too, like how what the movie progresses and it gets like a little bit more like, he's deeper into all this and shit's going down, and then he still calls the coroner back and he goes straight back to like normal. He's like, yeah, we'll go on one more dinner. Just do this for me, you know. He's not like, okay, I'm putting all that aside. There's a freaking like person trying to do a mass murder here. I need help. He's like, yeah, come on, just do it for me, baby. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's true. Like there's like no dynamic where you think like yeah through this journey like he didn't intend to be here. Like this happened in his hospital. He's roped up in this investigation. He's invested, but yeah, that he would be learning along the way, right? And being like, oh, like I didn't get to be with my kids and they're at home and this and that. And yeah, no, he gets that phone call and he's like, oh yeah, baby. Like he's right back to his ways. You know, and I would argue to say that if they're really trying to paint like a real authentic sleazy character, then like they did it. Like yeah, I guess maybe it's even more real life than what we
But
see.
that's not normally the hero that we
Yeah.
need. This
Listen,
this
he's
this is the
drinking.
hero.
Yeah,
This
he's drinking the whole
America is
time.
so messed up that this is the hero we deserve right now to save us. Like this guy.
I
Oh.
wish I could be like at the round table when people are like spitballing ideas and they're like, let's build our hero. Let's build
Yeah.
our protagonist here.
Yeah,
Because
normally we have the survivor girl. We have Lori. She's look at all she did. We're definitely going to switch it up this time. We're going to bring in Michael in. We're going to make our hero an old, horny, drunk guy that nobody should ever want to be like, practicing medicine under the influence of alcohol. That's the one that we want our kids to be like. We want to be that guy.
all right, so Eric,
Yes.
let's introduce what we have here for your pairing.
All right. So your other snack you got was a white Reese cup, and you got the ghost. I grabbed the pumpkin. It's the same one.
Okay. I got the
But
big old bag here.
mine's. I figured, with this movie, there's three masks that everybody, or four masks. Like there's some that show up in the background of this movie that I'm like, that's a cooler mask than the freaking witch one that they're running around with.
Yeah.
But but yes. So we got white Reese cups. So hopefully everybody's had a Reese cup before.
Yeah, and I mean I haven't had a white variation but I can almost assume what it'll entail. But again, I was desperate times. I was just
Hot
scouring.
take. Hot
Yeah.
take. I may like the white Reese cups better than the regular chocolate.
Okay. Okay, this at least I came through on this one instead of the spooky cakes.
You're like, I got Snickers peanut butter scary bars. And I'm like, what is that? You're like, no, they're actually Reese's white ghosts. So I wanted to do so this is kind of an out there pairing because I wanted to make like a weird Halloween weird pairing. Like
Okay.
this is going to be weird, I think. But
This is the
it's a
place to get weird.
oh, we're going to get weird, baby. This
Yeah.
movie, whiskey,
Yeah.
snacks, it's all weird. So, I went with Will It Rye with this one. It's just the normal small batch. It's not like a single barrel or anything. I know that you said you didn't have this, but you have the blackened slash Willet finished in Madeira, and I have that one as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so I mean, like I said, I'm interested because, and I guess we'll have two takes on this because I've had the 4 year, so I can kind of conjure up some memories of drinking the 4 year. It's pretty readily available. But yeah, in terms of what's on hand, I got this, and I actually we'll get into this after, but I have this because of you. I'm Black in Metallica fan, all that stuff, and I really like the collabs they were doing. But it was hearing your review, and I don't know if it was officially on the podcast or not, or just on your Instagram, but that's because originally I didn't get this when it came out, and then
yeah.
I made a point to really hunt it down after hearing your thoughts on it.
On a side though, like this bottle, I have two of these. Like this is like the only one I have opened. Like it's almost like gone.
Yeah.
But have you ever been like not pressured, but like almost like an internal like struggle to be like, oh crap, I gotta buy this. And even though it's like 100 and some dollars, you're like, yep, here you go, thanks.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
so I found this. I had talked to my local store that like I get everything from, and they were like looking for me, and it came out. They didn't get any. They were like, "Oh, sorry about that." And I was like, "No big deal, no big deal. I'll get it next time." But I actually found this at another store, so I was like, "It's fine. I got it." They
yeah.
got it in like 2 weeks later. They're like, "We saved you a bottle," and I was like, "Cool,
That's
awesome."
me. Like, dude, that is like talk about okay, the flip side of not being an asshole to people. Like, they're like, "Oh, I went out of my way and found you this bottle." And I instead of being like, "Yeah, it's okay. I already picked one up." I'm like, "Yes, of course. I'll be right in."
I'm like, "Yeah, here you go. Go ahead and take my $150 or
Yeah,
whatever it
now you're
was."
300 deep and
Oh.
will it flat. And it's because tonight was gonna happen, man. You're gonna hang out with this bottle. You have another one sealed. This is it all makes
But
sense.
I luckily I really like this whiskey a lot, and I am so happy I got another bottle. But yeah, I was like internally struggling and basically handing $150 to my local store to because I thought that they would be mad at me if I didn't buy it. So
Well, I'll tell you this. I really enjoy it because you liked it so much. I went out and found it myself. And I wish another store called me up and said that they had found me an extra one because I wouldn't mind being too deep in this one. I'm like a quarter of the way. It's hard to tell with that bottle,
I
but yeah, I'm
know
like a
that
quarter of the
bottle's
way.
yeah, tricky.
Yeah, so I feel like this will be this like we're fortunate we get a whole bunch of bottles or we've tasted a whole bunch of things, but this is really one that because of its like uniqueness that I feel like when it's done, that'll be like, oh damn, like
Yeah.
Eric, you got to send me a sample. A couple years down the road, you got to send me a sample so I
Remember
can
that bottle you were
revisit it.
pressured into buying? Like, share it with
Yeah,
me now. And then I'll feel
yeah,
bad and be like, oh my God, I'll just send you the bottle. The thing I like about this is I go, you know me. I go on these waves of finished whiskey. I'm like, I like finished whiskey, then I'm over finished whiskey. I
yeah,
like finished whiskey. And this one, I thought they did a great job because they still let the willet shine. Like the finish adds a little bit to it, but it still reminds me of willet rye because when I have willet rye, I get this and some people don't like it, but I get this dilly like butter toast. Like it's
mm,
like dill and butter, like a sweet pickle type thing, and I just love that so much because it's so unique.
yeah,
And even with this one just adds a little bit of sweetness on it with that Madeira finish, but you
yeah.
still get that note in the background of it.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the finishing when it came to this because I know like again like we've had our waves and I'm in a place too lately where I'm like finished whiskeys haven't been what I'm reaching for. I kind of just like solid rye profile or
Yeah.
bourbon profile or variations, obviously depending on what you're drinking. Um, but yeah, like so yeah, when finishing is done right, and I think this is a bottle to kind of demonstrate that and kind of set the bar for like yeah, like you can have solid rye. It's still at the forefront, but the finish just adds a little bit, and we'll
Hmm.
talk about what it adds. I'm gonna take a sip here. So likewise, I think I know where you're going with this, and if it might even come back to like, and you might not remember the first time you reviewed this, and I got to hear you. I'm wondering if it's gonna go back there. Anyways, so
Oh,
we'll.
I don't
Well,
know.
wait, actually, am I supposed to share right now or no? No, we have to taste it first, and then I gotta.
Yeah, let's taste it and
I've
see
never even
what the
tasted this white Reese's, and I'm getting ahead of
Yeah,
myself.
I want to see what you think about it. Cleanse your palate before without any. I want to know. I want to see your first reaction to a white Reese's cup. I love them, man. I love them. It's like a peanut butter roll, like
Hmm.
that white. It's not even hardly white chocolate. It's like white cream, I guess you would say.
I like this, but I like that profile. Kind of reminds me like is it like a payday or
Yeah. Uh-huh.
like
Oh, you should take peanuts and put them in a bag, and then put candy corn in a bag, shake it up, and then you eat them like that, and that's like a payday.
oh damn, okay.
It's really good. It's like a payday in a bag.
So this might upset people, but Reese's isn't like at the top of my snack list. I don't dislike them. I'm down with peanut butter, chocolate. Um, I'm gonna sound like a snob when I say this, but like I really love dark chocolate.
Uh-huh.
So either I feel like I'm doing like a Reese's, but I get those like health store versions, which that does not mean they're any healthier, but just to get like a darker
Yeah.
chocolate,
They're
because I
usually
like bit.
thinner. They're a little thinner and stuff like
Yeah, but
that.
I just
Yeah.
like dark, bitter chocolate, and so I feel like just like most chocolate bars or snacks, I'm typically looking for like a dark chocolate version.
You're not the milk
And
chocolate guy, the lighter chocolate.
no, like I'm okay with it, but like I have like one bite and it's like too sweet. But if I'm gonna go in that direction, like this here, I'm like, let's go all the way, baby. This white chocolate coating, I'm like, yeah, like this is I mean it's super sweet for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
So, all right, now you got to do a pairing. So take your little bite, take your little whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Okay. So that's super
Bro,
good.
I'm trying to process what's happening right now.
That's super good because it gets you this butter, peanut butter to like a toast, like a buttery peanut butter toast, but there is this little pickle note. And you know how people are always like, have you ever heard somebody doing like peanut butter and pickles? Have you
Yes.
ever heard?
Yeah.
Yes. I've tried it. It's not the best thing put together right there, but when you have it like this, like there is like this really cool like I get this little bit of sour pickly note on the end of this kind of buttery peanut butter that just it's hard to process. It really is.
No, what's funny, as you're explaining it, you're like touching like the sides of your mouth, like your
Uh-huh.
cheeks, if
Yeah,
you're not
it's hitting
watching
you
it.
right here.
And
Yeah, it
yeah,
hits
and
you
it's
right here.
just right there in the jaw. I'm like, yo, there's some things going on. It's like beyond palate, man. It's like
It
this
is.
it's like surround sound movie theater experience. Like someone's listening to their AirPods and someone's like in the what is it, the IMAX theater, bro,
Yeah,
watching this.
you're in
This is
that
that's that
4D. It's even
4D,
rumbling in
yeah.
my butt right now.
Yeah, this is a 4D version.
It does, but it goes down. It like tingles right down in the back of your throat, like in the side of your jaws in the back of your throat. It's crazy.
So I will say this. I kind of missed the mark in terms of what I thought you were going for. And even okay, so the first review you ever said, you kept explaining that there was like this raspberry,
Oh, okay.
like a raspberry note to it, like a jammy raspberry.
Uh-huh.
And it's there. I mean, when you drink it alone, it's there.
Well, it's
But I
like that
thought,
sour. It's kind of that sour
yeah,
fruit. Like,
and that
yeah.
makes sense still, okay? Because I was thinking like peanut butter, like white chocolate. You add some like white chocolate and raspberry is a really nice
Uh-huh.
mix. So
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like overt, like the finish would be more prominent, um, like outside of the rye, but it's kind of the direct opposite where you're still getting, like you said, like those kind of like dill sour notes. And I mean, there's a touch, I guess, like yeah, it's the sour, but it's not really. I wouldn't say I get that like the raspberry
Yeah.
in the mix. Yeah,
All right. You know
let's
what to
pour it
do.
over. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
If you're sitting at home,
This may be the best Reese Cup pairing I've ever done. I won't even
yeah,
lie.
because I'm like, if you're sitting
Oh.
at home and we're two for two right
Oh.
here, you're taking out these little white ghosts or pumpkins
Mm-hmm.
and pouring some millet rye, you're in for a treat. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
is just, there's no way you can
Ugh.
have that, pair it, and be like, this isn't just like the most amazing, blissful explosion of flavor I've ever had. Because
If you do, you have no life and you're a boring person.
yeah,
And you
this is
probably
we'll
make
get snobby now. Yeah, like
Yeah, you probably make posts that say, pairing's stupid. That doesn't really mean anything. You're an android that just doesn't have any taste buds. Just like we find out in this movie that the men in the suits are robots. The craziest twist.
your segues are really good. I enjoy this. Oh, the first like yeah, one of the first discoveries almost felt uncomfortable. It went like too long, where Dr. Chalice there, his hand, he's just fisting dude's stomach.
And he's like, uh, and
Yeah, but
the
and his eyes start oozing, right? And you're like,
yeah,
oh, like I don't know, he's infected. Like, what's going on? And then there's a mix of like ooze, but then he pulls out like his like electrical cables,
yeah,
and you realize they're robots.
yeah. So we started this movie thinking that this is the third Halloween where we're going to see Michael Myers.
Yeah,
We
let's
don't
bring us
see
back
any,
here.
yeah, we don't see any Michael Myers. We got a cool intro. Music is awesome. Like it keeps like the jumpy, scary, like ding, ding, stuff
Well,
like that. I'm
I
like,
want to quickly note that when you think this movie actually has no business being scary at all. Okay, let's just like when if you watch the whole thing,
I don't know if I was scared one time in this
no,
movie.
but
No, one time. I'll tell you one time.
I noted what you wrote because or what you just mentioned because when they would show like these androids in suits, they would do that Michael thing where obviously it was like the Halloween 3, but like it would and like
Yeah,
show that like he's someone standing there, and that made it creepy and suspenseful. But really the soundtrack, Carpenter's soundtracks are just chef's
yeah,
kiss always.
perfect.
And just really elevates it to make you think you're watching a horror movie, but the whole time you're like you're not really watching a horror movie here.
I'm like now when I watch it now, I'm like, is this horror? Is this sci-fi? Like, I don't really
Yeah,
understand. I don't
I
know what
actually
I'm
I actually
watching.
said like it reminded me of um I mean it's obviously on a whole other level, but like at its foundation, kind of like a Goosebumps tale.
I mean, it
Um
was R.L. Stein
yeah,
story
like very
all day long.
that's
Yeah,
what I mean. Like aside from the scandal and the drinking and sex and whatnot, like it's very
yeah,
much a R.L. Stein premise. But then I was like, this is also something like when you look at like the more extreme version, you're like, oh, this is like a Black Mirror episode as well. But
yeah.
yeah, it's not really on the nose horror.
Right. So we've gone through this movie. We've now, there's no Michael. We've found out there's androids. There's we have the hero that nobody needs to look up to. And we're trying to figure out like what is the going on? What's up with these masks? So we have a kill where the masks have these little like computer chip things on them from this company, and it beams right through her face. Like she gets beamed through her face. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're like lasers or something. So I start, as you start going, you learn that this is kind of like a witchcraft tale. You mentioned it earlier that freaking Stonehenge, they even make a joke about it. They're like, you don't even want to know what we did to get it here or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So they're making these
They're like
masks.
they had that was the biggest like cop out for like filling in the plot.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we don't even want to get into how we
Yeah,
moved it
we don't
here.
want to get in this. So they're taking Stonehenge bits and putting them in this little thing that puts them on the mask. And you learn that they're, I guess, basically going to do like a mass murder, like witchcraft thing. Okay. So we've already seen that these things can laser beam somebody. And then, like, oh, I'm putting it together. Maybe it's going to like cause everybody's head to explode. N- I'm st okay. We they they
I know where we're headed here. Yeah.
they bring this family in and they're like, we're going to test this out on them. Okay. Little kid puts on the mask. They play the flashing lights that's supposed to like, make everything start. This scene is the one of the wildest scenes I've ever seen. And this is when I have PTSD because I remember seeing this when I was little, being
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? His head starts shrinking. He's like, oh, he's like holding his head. And then all of a sudden, like bugs and a snake comes out. The snake like bites his parents. Like there's like it's like the plague in this room.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Now you got me. You got me back now.
Yeah. And I think
And we
that's what
don't see
anchors
it
it.
again.
Yeah, but I think that's what anchors it in horror. Like people love like okay, when you look at like fragmented memories of movies, right? I feel like people when they talk about Halloween 3, they're like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's in the Halloween universe. It's meant to be horror-esque, but like as we mentioned, it's a lot more, let's say, sci-fi. But that one scene is what everyone kind of comes back to and kind of makes us think a little bit more that it's horror. But you see it one time, it's totally messed up. Why are bugs and snakes coming out of his
Yeah.
head? We thought it was
Is
laser beams, like you said.
is that going to happen to everybody?
There's gonna be a lot of
Or
bugs and snakes.
I'm like, okay, maybe their head's just going to explode because of the laser beams. But are they
Yeah.
going to turn into snake pits? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know because they use these things again on the androids and stuff, and it's just lasers coming everywhere. And I'm like,
The parents, by the way, kind of remind me of like those like the modern day parents who put like their kids on YouTube who like just
yeah,
sell out their kids and they're like, yo, we're invested. Like, yeah, like it's okay. You could use our kid for this experiment.
so
Like let's put on TV.
so the thing that when I rewatched it this time, the thing I LOL'd so much. I was it's about we're about a quarter left in the movie, and it's right when our brave Dr. Chalice is trying to get into the thing, and he's sneaking through the town, and and he does this thing at first, like he just throws himself into the weeds one time to get away. Then he's in a phone booth, and he just does this like comedy thing where he's like. He's literally just crawling around this town
Wasn't there one too,
trying.
like the camera, like obviously is starting to pan and
Yeah.
turn to him, and like he just barely moves to get out of the way.
I'm like, for like 5 minutes, I'm dying laughing because he's just doing the most like
Oh,
Jim Carrey style comedy things, like hiding in the like doing like the thing where you
yeah.
slowly fall down. You just throw yourself into the weeds and stuff. Dude, I was
Or how
cracking up.
about when he finally like rescues Ellie from the room, and then they take the rack of Halloween masks.
They just
Everyone's in the
hide,
center.
they hide themselves. And then he sneaks under there and literally
He just starts,
everybody he's just touching the buttons and stuff.
bro, our drunk horny hero, just starts. He does like what like a toddler would do if your computer was left open.
He's like
He just
toot, toot,
starts.
toot, toot. And it works, of course. It just
Yeah,
works. So he saves the day, but does he save the day? Because
Hmm.
he escapes. Then we find our quote survivor girl that's not really a survivor girl is now an android. Was she an
Yeah.
android before?
As a standalone, I respect it, and I think um, when you come back to it, I can give it like a bunch of points for creativity, that's for sure. And I still want to talk about Stonehenge a little bit. But like, yeah, I can see if his whole purpose, if Carpenter and Deborah Hill were like, yo, we want to get 1,000% away from what was Halloween and Michael Myers in every aspect, like you said, from going from a final girl to the to Dr. Chalice, who will do any girl and is like the most misogynistic man. Like, yeah, it's complete like polar opposite. So they've done a great job in totally abandoning the blueprint for the first two films.
This.
Before we start to tie things together here with our final thoughts, what were your thoughts on this whole Stonehenge thing? Because I was Googling last night. I'll be honest with you. My wife woke up and I was on my phone and she goes, "What are you doing?" Said, "I'm Googling Stonehenge." And I was trying to connect the dots here because I'm like, right now we're going heavy Irish. So much that like I think I've even paired this with an Irish whiskey before. Um, but I need to know, and maybe someone out there, that
Wiltshire, England.
yeah, okay, so I was right. So it's in England. I'm not going to mention that I my minor is in teaching geography, okay, but English first. But I knew it was in England, but like I was like, so you're going full on. I just don't know the connection there, right? Like I get like you're going to like this like Celtic lore and it's silver shamrock and it's heavy Irish, and then you're going to Stonehenge and taking. I
I
guess they were trying to
don't.
say because it was like part of a sacrificial circle. I don't know. It kind of got lost on me, or it's maybe just the ignorance of like American writers who are just like England, Ireland,
I
same
I
shit.
don't
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like the whole like title of the movie, The Season of the Witch. Like it's like okay, we finally see that it's witchcraft, but it's we're still kind of sci-fi-ish and like wouldn't we be witchcraft? I'm thinking like, witches and, potions and curses and I'm not thinking Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I don't, I'm gonna, we'll have to Google this too. I don't know if there's like lore to Stonehenge and like
Maybe.
w witchcraft, but even there, it's even, let's just say there is, it's still so loose because how
Yeah.
it's playing out is that like we're taking fragments of Stonehenge and it's just like shooting lasers and turning kids' heads into bugs and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's like in terms of like Season of the Witch, it is very misleading. Like I feel like we're a lot more into sci-fi than we are witchcraft, you know.
And
Um
I just wonder like they were still like just working away. Like they're working, they're getting stuff, they're making the math. Like, you ain't going to just keep making these masks after if this actually worked.
Yeah.
Like, what are
Like,
we doing?
yeah,
You
the
know?
night of, right? Just like that's why the rack of masks is being carried through. Like, bro, like if they ain't on retail shelves right now,
It ain't gonna work. Like,
like the
what?
program runs in T minus 2 hours. And
We're still gonna keep making these masks, though.
then we got to get a math person and look at like the size of Stonehenge and like
Uh,
mathematically, if you broke it down into fragments, how many children you could take out
well,
by
the
with
one he's
masks.
like, he just rubs his hand on the rock and he's like, "It's ready," or whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh,
Dude, as always, this was a lot of fun, man. And when we do this, it makes me think like we need to do it more often.
yeah.
And and doesn't always have to be a Halloween special, but wild pairings for an equally wild movie. Eric, with that being said, everyone, thank you for joining in this Halloween special, first ever Halloween special. Yes, Eric, I also just poured myself a little bit more so I can cheers you. I tried to do it secretly behind camera, but those watching probably saw me pour it under the
Hallow
table. But
Halloween special with the
Halloween
most
special.
Halloween movie ever.
Yeah, and fake Halloween spooky snacks. Cheers,
Oh.
brother.